So today we're going to be looking at how a regulator functions in terms of the gas flow from the high pressure cylinder, which is strapped generally to your back, and then up to the point where you inhale from the second stage, obviously from the mouthpiece. Whatever we learn today, please know that this should only be undertaken by trained service technicians in your local authorized dealer of scuba equipment. You should never attempt to change the settings or tuning on your regulator if you don't have the right training and the right tools. So please just know that this is explaining how the regulator functions, not showing you what you should be doing at home in your garage. So as we all know, we have a high pressure cylinder on our back. Our high pressure cylinder is at 200 bars, goes through the tank valve into our regulator first stage. So from 200 bars, the regulator first stage reduces the pressure down to something lesser than 200 bars. As a very, very approximate approximation, you can say it's about 10 bars or less. And you can see going up the low pressure hoses here, and there's another one goes up here. The hose over here is a high pressure gauge, goes to our pressure gauge that you monitor throughout your dive. So we're going up our low pressure hose. One of the pipes, the low pressure hose, is going into our second stage, which we all know and love. Okay, and the other one is going into what we call an IP gauge, or an intermediate pressure gauge. So this gauge is actually measuring how much pressure is in this hose. Now these hoses are what carries the 200 bar reduced pressure to our BCD and our primary second stage and our alternate octopus second stage, and any other accessories you want to use low pressure for. So in this case, you can read on the gauge, guys, it says we've got in PSI around 135 PSI, and in bar it's about 9.3 bar of pressure. So from 200 bar it's changed to 9.3 bar. I think that's pretty clear so far. That same pressure is going to be going to our second stage. So when we breathe off our second stage, the first stage has 200, it goes into 9.3 bar, then it goes into second stage. Obviously you don't get 9.3 bar into your lungs. Your second stage will reduce it to what you can inhale based on your ambient pressure. Okay. So a way to show the pressure is we use something called a magnehelic gauge. Now a magnehelic gauge measures in units of water. So we're going to use the top line, which is inches of water. So it's showing how much we need, how much effort, how much pressure we need to force on the diaphragm inside the second stage to open the pathway from the intermediate pressure gas supply. So I've got a simple mouthpiece here, which I've inserted into my second stage, and I'll just inhale. You can watch the gauge. Now what will happen, two things will happen. One is this gauge will go up as I inhale more. The other thing is your gas supply and your intermediate pressure will drop at the same time. So you can hear the inhalation begin. You can see the IP gauge drop, and the first stage helps the gas supply recover from the high pressure cylinder as you're inhaling more. I'll show you really clearly the IP. See how the needle moves? Inhalation, and then the regulator recovers and fulfills all of the gas volume inside the hoses again. That's the whole system. Now if we talk in terms of the magnehelic, so the magnehelic gauge will measure how much is the cracking effort to open the gas supply to my lungs. So I'm going to inhale. In this particular case, it's about 1.4 or 1.5 inches of water is the pressure for me to open the flow and start to get gas into my lungs while I'm diving. Now you can actually adjust that, and the adjustment will be inside the regulator system, we don't need to look at that just yet. When you come and do your training as a scuba technician, you'll learn all about it.